Hi, I'm Morty from GNOWFBlends.com. This is our first video Q&A. Please stay tuned for many more of these in the coming weeks. The question I'm going to answer today concerns packing a lunch, and specifically how to pack a warm lunch so that your spouse or yourself doesn't have to use the microwave at their place of work to heat up their lunch. My family has lived without a microwave for a long time, many years. I don't even remember how many. And another thing I don't remember usually is even that microwaves exist. It takes a question like today's question to remind me that microwaves exist and there are ways to work around them. Now, we've worked around microwaves in the kitchen for so many years. We reheat foods without the microwave, we cook foods without the microwave. And I have a lengthy blog post on the subject of reheating foods without a microwave, and you'll see the link down below how to get there. It tells you how to do everything from beverages to pasta to rice to everything. It's a great resource to help you avoid microwave use in your own home. Let's talk now, though, about how to avoid a microwave when you're not at home and you don't have your kitchen. Well, my husband, at this point in time, does go to a day job, and every day he takes a hot lunch, and that's because we use food jars. This is a pretty small stainless steel food jar. We have a medium-sized one that's about a half cup larger. In fact, that's what he has in his lunch today. Anyway, these work fantastic to keep hot food hot. Now, I do pack cold things in his lunch too, and I tend to use these 2-cup Pyrex bowls, or I use a 1-cup mason jar with lid. This works great for cold side dishes, like cheese to have with cheese and crackers, or fruits, or fruit and kefir, or cold salmon salad, or hummus, or there's lots of things that you want to do cold. And the beauty of this system is that your cold dishes and your hot dishes plus the beverage, you all pack in the cooler together. So you've got ice to keep this stuff cold, and this stays warm because it's in an insulated food jar. These are very inexpensive. I suggest you look for stainless steel. They're easy to clean. They last a long time. This one is probably 6 years old, and it's still running strong. Now, there are larger sizes of food jars. This is actually not a food jar, it's a coffee thermos, but it has such a nice wide mouth that it works great as a food jar. It's stainless steel, and this is what I use when my children and I are out all day for a day in town. So I will reheat our leftovers on the stove in the morning and put them into the food jar, and then wherever we are, I brought along bowls and spoons, and I will scoop out our whatever it is, chili or soup or whatever, and we will eat it on the road. And that's how we have a hot lunch, in the car somewhere. Now, keeping these clean can sometimes be an issue. If they've got food in them for a long time, they can sometimes take on a smell, and I'm not talking about just the food smell. I mean, it can be a yucky smell. So what I do is, when it's done for the day, I wash it out with soap and water, and then I fill it with water and a splash of vinegar, and I let it sit overnight. And then in the morning, the vinegar is pretty much taking care of the odors. And one good thing to make sure of, just to make sure that by lunchtime your food is nice and hot, is to take your food jar while you're reheating your food on the stove, in a pot or however works best to reheat it. You fill this with very hot water for about 5 minutes. It's called tempering. What you're doing is getting this nice and warm. So then when you put the food in, the food doesn't cool down because the jar is nice and hot.